episode of Dip Bakes. Today we're going to be making vanilla cupcakes with vanilla frosting. I've actually never done this recipe before. I was thinking about doing my favorite yellow cake cupcakes, but I decided I would try something new and then we can bake it together for the first time. What it looks like is this recipe makes exactly 12 cupcakes. People say they really like the frosting and that they follow the recipe as it's written, so we're going to do the same thing. For this recipe we'll need flour, sugar, buttercream, eggs, salt, baking soda, baking powder, vanilla, butter, and oil. For the frosting we'll need powdered sugar, vanilla, lemon, butter, heavy whipping cream, a pinch of salt, and sprinkles for fun. So the first thing we're going to do is turn our oven on 350, and then we're going to go ahead and line our muffin tin. So the picture on the recipe has the cupcakes just in normal liners. So I'm just going to use the same standard muffin tin liners. And hopefully there's no overflow. Cool, easy enough. Let's get started. Everything in this recipe is room temperature. So room temperature eggs, room temperature buttermilk, softened butter. So just getting that out there. So the first thing we're going to do is put in our dry ingredients. So what I've heard, which I would say is true, is that if you put in your dry ingredients first, mix in a little bit of butter, it allows for an airier texture in your bakes. So we're going to do this by scale, just because the recipe has the ingredients in grams, and it looks like this recipe was actually written in grams and then kind of converted to have like cups because of the way that it's written. So we're going to use just grams from the start. So we're going to do 145 grams of all-purpose flour, and then add in our sugar. So 125 grams of sugar, and I'll have the recipe in both cups and grams, so if you don't have a scale, you can still use the cup measurement that is on this recipe. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a half teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, and a half teaspoon of fine sea salt. So now we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of softened butter. 3 tablespoons isn't much. And it does call for unsalted butter, but I'm using salted butter, so we're going to go ahead and just combine these. And then we're going to mix in our butter just to coat our dry ingredients. It doesn't say creamed, it says sandy. I don't know if I would call this sandy. Again, I know the point of this is to coat the dry ingredients with fat, but I don't know if this is enough or not. I would call that good. I feel like things are pretty well coated. It doesn't say creamed, so we're not trying to do that. The butter is definitely incorporated. There's not like chunks of butter or anything like that. I mean, there's little chunks, I guess, but I don't think it'll matter too much. We're going to move on. Okay, so we're going to add our wet ingredients to this measuring cup. We're going to add our buttermilk. It's 2/3 cup. Room temperature, as I said before. 2 eggs. Go ahead and mix these up. And if you don't have buttermilk on hand, since this recipe already calls for lemon juice, you can use, it's like 1 tablespoon of lemon juice per a cup. So since you're doing 2/3 a cup, I would say 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And put that in your milk, let it sit until it kind kind of like starts to curdle, and then that'll work as a substitute for buttermilk. I've also read that if you don't have buttermilk, and I've done this with certain things, not with these cupcakes, but if you don't have buttermilk, you can use just regular milk and then just leave out the baking soda. So maybe your cupcake is a little bit more dense, but like it's still a cupcake. So, all right. So we're gonna put in 3 tablespoons of oil, and then our vanilla. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And we're just gonna go ahead and mix this together. This just turned off. Or did it turn off a while ago? Because I did not hear it. It probably turned off while we were mixing. Oh my gosh, what does that mean? Why is there no video? I think I lost the whole first half of this mixture here. Yeah, we're just gonna use this camera. We're gonna do one camera. I apologize, but we're almost done, so it'll be fine. Alright. Okay, and we're back. I guess we'll see. But if you haven't seen me make this, I apologize. I just did the things I said. I put the dry ingredients in the bowl. I mixed it. Yes. Okay, and then we just made our buttermilk, egg, oil, vanilla mixture. What we're going to do is going to pour in half, mix it on low until it's incorporated, and then mix the other half. And then we'll be ready to put our cupcakes in the cupcake liners. So I guess we'll just pour some in and let that go. So I'm just going to wait until there's no dry. This is the part where I start to get really excited. I love this part, when it starts to come together. Pour in the rest. Okay, so I'm just going to scrape this down. Okay. And then mix it on medium speed. The first time I ever made cupcakes, literally ever, I overmixed them so bad. So this mixture is a little bit lumpy. So the batter will be loose. That's what the description is. I don't know what that means. I'm just going to mix it just a little bit more, and then we'll put it in our cupcake thing. I don't want like pieces of dry ingredients. I find that kind of concerning. Alright. We're going to call that mixed. It's not like completely smooth. It's probably my fault. I probably should have mixed it more in the butter sand stage. But that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and distribute this into our cupcakes. Pro tip. Alright, so I'm going to use my scoop. Even though I don't think it's necessary. But I just feel like it'll be easier to kind of eyeball. I don't know, should I do a whole scoop? Oh, I'm worried about the lumpiness. Loose, lumpy, is that the same thing? I think this is going well. I think this is okay. The last one's going to be a little bit small. I'll eat that one. It'll be fine. Did I say what I was doing with these cupcakes? I want to pass them out to the people that ask for change at the corner. I don't want to say that they're homeless because I think that's unfair, because they might not be homeless. But they do ask for change. And I felt like doing something nice for strangers today. And they're like the easiest people to do something nice for, because you know where to find them. I made it a little bit too big, looks like. But I'm not going to worry about it. So we just have a little small one. So these are going to go in the oven to bake 18 to 20 minutes is what the instructions say. So I'm going to just do 15 and then check them and see where they're at. Alright, so I'll check back in with you when those come out of the oven, or when we check them in 15 minutes. So it looks like the camera is working now, full disclosure. So, but I don't see the video of the mixing on here. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't want you to just look at me the whole time, so I have to figure that out. Obviously, when you get to this point in the video, it'll already be like supplemented. But yeah, I don't know what happened. The camera died while I was recording, which has happened before. And then when I changed the battery, I think it's like 12 minutes of footage. It's not much. It's just mixing. Just mixing. It's fine. Okay. We're gonna wait for the cupcakes to be done. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Nothing is that intense for the rest of our bake. So hopefully we don't have any issues recording anything. Got about 5 minutes left. Just a little sneak peek. Oh, they're adorable. Oh, even the little baby one's still cute. Okay, so our timer just went off. I think I'm gonna do toothpicks and see how they're doing. What does it say? It says just clicked through. Oh, so we're gonna do a toothpick. We're gonna see if it's clean. They look good. It says little to no browning. These look a little wet on top. They're definitely wet on top. Ew, okay. I guess we'll give them like 2 minutes. I know it looks like really wet, but it's really just this hot. So we'll give them 2 minutes, and then we'll check them again. So we're just going to check them again. That one came out clean. I'm going to say they're good. And so this recipe wants them to rest in the tin for 5 minutes before putting them on a cooling rack to cool completely. So we'll follow that instruction, quite literally, and then we can go ahead and start on our frosting. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make our frosting. So the first thing we're going to do is cream our butter and sugar. I'm going to wipe that out really quick. So I just don't want any, or I guess too much additional moisture. No need for that. So we're using a cup of softened butter. Okay, so we're going to beat the butter until it's smooth. Then we'll add our confectioner sugar or powdered sugar and salt. And then we'll add the vanilla, lemon juice, and heavy cream. Should take about 10 minutes, all in all. Okay, it's basically like the longer you beat your butter, the smoother your frosting will be. So, I'm going to beat a little bit more. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I've seen different kind of instructions for this. Until smooth, until light, until fluffy. Honestly, I feel like this could be a bit smoother as well. Like, I can see little bits of chunks of butter there. This isn't like a big deal, right? Like, I'm just making these for fun. But if we're gonna do it, we should do it right. So I'm gonna beat that a little bit longer. Okay, so I feel pretty good about this. I feel like this is pretty well mixed. It's not like flying around in big balls or anything like that. So I feel pretty good about it. So I'm just gonna scrape it off. Alright, and then we're gonna go ahead and measure out our powdered sugar. Recipe calls for 175 grams for a cup and a third. So we're going to just do the grams. Alright, and then we're going to sift it into this bowl and then add it to the butter. Okay. So we're going to add that to our butter. Easy peasy, and then just a pinch of salt. Pinch. Then we're just going to mix that until our sugar is moistened. Okay, I'm just going to scrape this. this sugar that's kind of stuck to the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to turn on medium-high and add the vanilla, lemon juice, and heavy cream. Now it looks like the heavy cream we're just going to add a teaspoon at a time and then just kind of get the right light, fluffy consistency that we need. Alright. I'm just going to scrape this down and then we're going to let it go for about 5 minutes. This pour mixer is so warm. Seems pretty fluffy. I feel like doing this and then maybe whipping it for another minute will probably be good. Just because there's some stuff that's definitely stuck to the outside. But it looks good. It's thick. Tastes good. So I think that is good. And so I did put the cupcakes in the fridge to kind of cool them down a little bit faster so that we can go ahead and ice them. So I'm going to go ahead and get those out and get this over to my other counter. So I did have these in the fridge. So they are pretty cool at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and give them a cute little topping. They domed more than I thought they would. I thought they'd be more kind of flat, but that's okay. I also put more batter in the cupcake tin than I needed to. Also, these wrappers are peeling off kind of aggressively, and I probably could have added a little bit more heavy cream. This icing's kind of thick, but that's okay. The wrappers are a joke. Okay, and then for fun, we're going to go ahead and just sprinkle on some sprinkles. Alright. Okay, the cupcakes are iced and beautiful. So let's go ahead and give one a try. They're good. Good, fluffy. The icing is good. Sweet but not too sweet. I probably could have put on more icing, but that's okay. Sprinkles are good. Is there anything better than a vanilla cupcake? Well, thank you guys again for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you make it, let me know, please. Let me know how it goes. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye. I guess I just didn't want my video anymore.